The process started without asking your permission. Something inside you began dissolving before you noticed. Not a crisis, not depression. Just the quiet realization that the old shapes don't hold anymore, and the new ones haven't arrived. You wake up with the same body, the same name, the same address, but something underneath is melting, and you don't have language for it yet. In May of 1889, Vincent van Gogh checked himself voluntarily into an asylum in Saint-Rémy. In the letters from that month, he doesn't talk about projects. He doesn't talk about meaning. He writes that he doesn't understand what is happening to him. The Starry Night was painted 3 weeks later. You demand the map before the next step. You want a guarantee. You need to know exactly what shape you'll have tomorrow before you let go of the shape you have today. And in that empty space between forms, panic moves in. You start to wonder if this is the end of you, or the beginning of someone you haven't met yet. You can't tell, neither could the caterpillar. The butterfly has been doing this for 200 million years. Long before words for transformation existed, long before any human ever stood at the edge of a life that didn't fit anymore, the butterfly already had the answer and never wrote it down. Here is what most people don't know. When the caterpillar enters the chrysalis, it doesn't grow wings, it dissolves. For 14 consecutive days, its body becomes a blind organic liquid, a soup with no spine, no eyes, no name. Almost everything that the caterpillar was ceases to exist as structure. Its own immune system in some species attacks parts of itself. The dissolution is not a side effect of the process. The dissolution is the process. But inside that soup, suspended in the liquid, there are tiny clusters of cells called imaginal discs. They were always there. They were inside the caterpillar from the day it hatched, suppressed by a hormone, waiting. They carry the architecture of the wings, the eyes, the antennae, the flight. The butterfly was never built from nothing. It was always inside. The caterpillar didn't invent the butterfly. The code was already written. So the question isn't how it transforms. The question is what the butterfly knows about the dark that you were never told. Lesson 1. Dissolution is not the opposite of form, it is the method. When you watch the caterpillar enter the chrysalis, your instinct is to read it as ending, as loss, as the moment something stops being. But that is the human reflex, the addiction to outline. The caterpillar doesn't shrink, it doesn't conserve itself, it liquefies on purpose. The body it had cannot become the body it needs. The form has to break before the form can arrive. You keep trying to renovate yourself without losing your edges, adding new habits to the old skeleton, repainting the room without moving anything. And then you wonder why nothing actually changes. The butterfly never tried to remodel the caterpillar, it simply let it go. What part of you are you still trying to keep that the next version cannot carry? Lesson 2. The answer was always inside you. In December of 1817, John Keats sat down to write a letter to his brothers. He was 22 years old. He was trying to describe a quality he saw in great minds, the ability to sit inside uncertainty without grabbing for resolution. He called it negative capability, the capacity to remain in mystery and doubt without an irritable reaching after fact and reason. Keats died 4 years later, at 25, never knowing that this phrase would survive 2 centuries. The butterfly does not have negative capability as a concept. The butterfly is negative capability. It carries the wings inside the body that has not yet seen sky. It does not understand what it is becoming. It does not need to. The imaginal discs do not require the caterpillar's permission. They were placed there by something the caterpillar will never name. You keep thinking you have to figure yourself out before you change. That clarity comes first, and movement comes after. But every transformation in nature works the opposite direction. The wings are already inside you. They were placed there. You just haven't been still enough or dark enough for them to assemble. What if the confusion is not the obstacle, but the workshop? Lesson 3. Don't open the chrysalis. Imagine you find a chrysalis. Imagine you watch it tremble. Imagine you see the butterfly inside, struggling, pressing, exhausted against the inner wall. You feel sorry for it. You want to help. You take a small blade and you cut the chrysalis open. You free the butterfly. You give it the relief it seemed to need. The butterfly walks out and never flies. Its wings stay folded, useless, soft. They never harden. The struggle against the chrysalis wall was the exact pressure that pumped fluid into the wings and gave them structure. Without the resistance, there is no flight. Your help killed the butterfly. Your mercy was the mistake. Now look at your own life. How many times has someone tried to rescue you from the very pressure that was building your wings? How many times have you tried to rescue yourself? You called it self-care. The biology calls it premature exit. The caterpillar isn't suffering randomly inside the cocoon. The pressure is the design. The wing is not built before the struggle. The wing is built by the struggle. Lesson 4. The most important process cannot defend itself. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar has no defense, no teeth, no legs, no way to run. The most important transformation of its life happens in absolute exposure. You wanted privacy. You wanted to figure it out without anyone watching. Nature didn't offer that option to the butterfly. It hung in the open and trusted the dark. Lesson 5. It flies where it has never been. The monarch butterfly travels 4,500 kilometers in its annual migration. From Canada to a small region in central Mexico it has never seen. It doesn't follow its parents. Its parents are dead. Most monarchs make the trip in a single generation with no map, no memory, no instruction. They arrive at the exact same trees their great-great-great-grandparents left. Scientists still don't fully understand how. Magnetic fields, the angle of the sun, polarized light. Internal compasses no one drew. The butterfly flies somewhere it has never been, guided by something it didn't choose to carry. In 1903, a young man named Franz Xaver Kappus wrote letter after letter to the poet Rainer Maria Rilke, demanding certainty about his life, his vocation, his work, his future. Rilke wrote back something that has been quoted for over 100 years, often badly. The actual line is this: "Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer." The butterfly doesn't live the answer. The butterfly lives the question, and the answer arrives as a body it didn't have yesterday. You don't need to know where you're going. You need to stop interrupting the part of you that already does. The butterfly never waited to understand. It crossed. The pre-Socratics had a word for the moment when something becomes what it always was. They called it metabole, transformation, passage, change of state. Not creation from nothing, passage from one form to another. Heraclitus said the river is never the same river, but it never stops being river. The form changes, the nature remains. Look at the soup inside the chrysalis. The dissolution is not random. The imaginal discs are not accidents. The wings carry maps to places the caterpillar never visited. The migration corrects itself across generations that never met. There is sequence here. There is structure. There is something that looks unmistakably like intention operating at every layer of the process. You can call it whatever you want. But honesty in front of evidence is not preaching. It is the minimum cost of being awake. If the butterfly is a project, if the wings were placed inside the caterpillar before the caterpillar knew what wings were, then somewhere there is a question you cannot avoid much longer. A project requires a projector. To code requires someone who wrote it. The butterfly does not have to answer this, you do. You are not different from the butterfly because you are more complex. You are different because you have words for the process, and the words have given you the illusion that understanding is a prerequisite for crossing. It isn't. The caterpillar never understood the soup. It melted anyway, and the melting was the wing. Go back for a moment to Saint-Rémy. May of 1889, a man sitting in a small white room, writing letters about how he doesn't understand what is happening to him. 3 weeks. That's all it took for the soup to become the Starry Night. He didn't know that, of course. He couldn't see the wings forming. The imaginal discs of his work had been placed inside him long before, and they were assembling themselves in the dark, exactly the way nature has always done it. The painting that millions of people would stand in front of in silence, that painting was inside him. On the day he wrote that he understood nothing. You may be in your own Saint-Rémy now, You may be writing letters in your head about how nothing makes sense. Stop calling every delay punishment. Stop calling every silence absence. Stop calling every dissolution an end. The butterfly never saw its own wings while they were being formed. They were there anyway. And in you, they probably are too.